Welcome everyone, it's Mary with Happy Pine Soap. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Today we're going to do a beautiful reverse feather swirl in cold process soap. This is perfect and just in time for the holidays. I include the full recipe. I hope you guys enjoy. Please sit down, relax, and let's get started. Here is our recipe for today. This is a 5-pound batch. I've used this with another feather swirl design months ago and it worked fabulously. So we're going to use it again, but I adjusted it again for a 4.8 pound recipe. So almost 5 pounds. And I will put a copy of this at the end of the video, a screenshot. So you are welcome to try this recipe out yourself as well. This design is going to be a reverse feather swirl so that we can try to create our beautiful Christmas tree. I have this taped down so it stays nice and still while I'm pouring our soap batter. And essentially you're going to pull from the bottom up when we get done pouring all the soap and cross our fingers. It looks like a beautiful Christmas tree. So this is a 5-pound loaf mold. This is by Brambleberry. It's one of my favorite molds. I use it all the time. And this is their swirling tool as well, or hanger swirl tool, actually. So Brambleberry sells this one as well. And as you see, you can bend it yourself to fit a wide variety of molds. Sticking with our Christmas theme, we're going for a beautiful green Christmas tree. Chromium oxide green from Mad Micas makes a fabulous deep tree green that will be wonderful for this design. We're going to try their True Red blend, which is not supposed to morph and it stays true in cold process soap. It takes a ton of this to get a true red. So reds are very hard to get in cold process soap. So this is supposed to be the magic mica to get you a true red in your cold process soap. I pretty much use the entire container. So this usage rate, by the way, is very high. Essentially, you're supposed to be using it at 7 grams per pound of soap batter. So pretty much the entire thing is going in this soap recipe today. Crossing fingers, it does stay true red. We'll see. I was a few grams short. And then for our chromium oxide green, I already pre-blended this. It's 1 teaspoon for this recipe because I'm going to put this in 1 pound of soap batter. 1 teaspoon of the chromium oxide green with 1 tablespoon of sweet almond oil. And that was pre-blended, as you see, to a nice smooth consistency, and it's ready to go. And then last but not least, our wonderful Christmas inspired fragrance. This is Mary Mimosa. I got it at my local soap store. I have this pre-blended with 3 tablespoons kaolin clay, which helps not only to anchor the fragrance, but I love kaolin clay in my soaps. It gives it such a wonderful, the soap has a wonderful feel and slip and lather with kaolin clay. So I absolutely adore kaolin clay. And, one last thing, we're going to try kind of a snow look in our red. We're using about a little over 3 pounds of red batter. And I wanted to see if I could make it look like snow. I got this idea from Holly's soap making. She also did chopped up a bunch of white soap that's pre-made and essentially used it to make a snowy sky. So I'm hoping mine will look similar in terms of snow, even though I'm not doing a blue sky. And this, I put in a little bit of that kaolin clay just so that it made the soap less likely to stick together. It was kind of sticking together a little bit. So now it's, as you see, it separates nicely. So I am hoping that this will look lovely in our red soap batter. So let's get ready to start getting all of our oils melted. We have all of our hard oils ready to be melted. That's cocoa butter, shea butter. We have our lard and our coconut oil. So let me get these melted and then we'll add our soft oils. All right, we have our hard oils. They're all melted now. I'll show you the temp now. They've probably fallen a little bit. I had them at 145 when they first came out of the microwave. And that is the correct temperature to get all of those hard oils nicely melted. So between 140 and 150 degrees is really good to get all the oils nicely combined. And then we will add our soft oils, which are those that are liquid at room temperature, and that will bring our oils down even further, and we'll be ready to soap when all of this is about 90 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe 88 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's what I want these oils to be at before we start. We have all of our combined oils that are now reduced to a pretty nice temperature. The oils are about 88, 87 roughly degrees Fahrenheit, of course. And if I move the oils here, my lye solution has cooled to 84, so I think I'm ready to start soaping. Carefully add your lye into your oils. Here's my stick blender. Let's see, we'll burp it. I want to blend just till it's barely combined because I'm going to do some extra blending when I add that red. So I don't want to over blend and have it be too thick. So we want it just barely to emulsion. Keep it nice and thin. This might actually be pretty good. I'll give it just another couple seconds. All right. You want it where it will not separate, the oils and the lye will not separate, but not too blended where it starts to thicken, because you need some time to make this feather swirl without it getting too thick. All right, I like that. I think I'm going to keep it at this consistency. Let's add our fragrance. We'll do this by hand and mix it well. Hopefully it does not accelerate. I have not used this fragrance. I'm hoping it behaves. From what I read online, it should behave. Let's hope so. Otherwise, the design will be ruined, which has happened in some of my other soaping videos, sadly. All right, it appears to be holding a pretty steady trace. I think I'm going to go for 1.5 pounds of green, actually. So let's carefully pour this. Your green is pre-blended, so all you have to do is pour it in at this point, and we'll stir it by hand. Beautiful. It is maintaining an extremely nice and light, very thin trace, which is beautiful. It's not thickening up at all. So this Mary Mimosa is a really nice fragrance. It is behaving very well. Thank goodness. I was a little worried. You never know sometimes with fragrances. Now, I learned that you can just basically pour this in. You don't need to pre-mix it with oil. Ooh, oh boy. I hope it doesn't make a mess when I turn the blender on. All right. Maybe kind of carefully knock some of it down, or not. Is definitely red, guys. All right, let me kind of stir it. We have some clumps over here. All right. Got some clumps on our blender too, actually. I probably should have just started with the blender already submerged. But you know what? Live and learn. All right. All right. Looking good. Boy, is this red. Holy cow. It matches the bowl. Beautiful. And it's still a nice thin trace. So this recipe is beautiful. Behaves itself so nicely. All right, I think we're going to now add in our snow. Incoming snow. I'm just going to gently fold this in. All right. I'm not sure if it will show up as white, but we will find out, won't we? When we slice our soap later. Hopefully. All right. Definitely got some up on the spatula here. Perfect. I think we are ready to start pouring. Here is our 5-pound mold. I'm going to start layering some red at the bottom, and then we will start our feather swirl. Just going to stir this, make sure all the snow is nicely distributed. Go ahead and cover your hanger swirl. Again, we'll just be pulling that straight up at the end to hopefully make that beautiful feather swirl. So I'm going to pour a layer at the bottom first, and then we will start our green. All right. So the idea is we are wanting to have the green be wider at the bottom. So let me see if I can just carefully pour very lightly down the middle, and then I'm going to try to make it a little thicker because I don't want it to break the surface of the soap. I have to pour very lightly. So you want your green to be thicker starting at the bottom. So let's try and achieve that. All right. I am hoping this is going to turn out like a tree, but you know what? It might not. Soaping is always a bit of a artistic endeavor and always a bit of a mystery until you cut your soap. Oftentimes we don't quite know. We have an idea of what we want it to look like, but it can surprise you sometimes. I just can't tell if I'm going to need to cover all these little red areas that are showing to really have it look more branches, you know, have those branches be nice and really settled in there, or not. All right, you know what? Let's stop there and let's go and carefully, we're going to carefully cover the red layer over the green now, and I'm so afraid that this might break the surface of that green and ruin the feather swirl. Let's see if I can pour over a spatula very slowly and carefully. All right. Oh boy. This is harder than I thought it was going to be, just because of that snow is in there too, making it thicker, a little thicker than I wanted. Let's see. All right. I might have to spoon it over the top at this stage, just so it doesn't break through too much. That might be easier. Yeah, I can control it better this way. Instead of pouring, we're gonna spoon. So this might take a bit of time. It is thickening a little bit, but not terribly. And it's actually not bad to have it thicken a little at this point so it can hold the layers a bit easier without breaking through. All right, I have no idea if this is gonna look good. Oh my goodness. I hope it does. Maybe not. Next layer of our green. Yeah, this is working a little better with the green now that the red is thicker. All right. It's getting quite thick now. I have to pour a little quicker. Pour down the sides so it stays in the middle. There we go. We're gonna have to speed our Christmas tree up, slash who knows what type of design. The mystery will continue. All right, let's get some more green and I'll tap it down slightly. Ooh, the red. So basically this tells me the true red speeds trace. So sometimes micas, depending on the color, can absolutely speed trace. And the reason I know that is because our green is not speeding trace. It's nice and fluid, see that? So the red is speeding trace. So we got to move a little faster. And this is stuff you just learn as you go when you're soaping. Oftentimes trial and error. A lot of us soapers have learned from prior mistakes or just prior experiences. Oh, I almost forgot to tap it down. There we go. All right, let's get a thinner green layer here. We're almost to the top of our tree. So let's try to make it nice and thin. And then we'll put the rest of the red on top, and we might have to just fill some separate molds with the leftover green, since we are having to move quicker than I thought. So the layers are not as many layers as I wanted, but we're gonna just try to make this work. All right. Let's do the red. Ooh, red is getting very thick. Oh boy, come on, red. Give us just a few more minutes, please. Do the red down the sides. All right, red down the side. Oh boy, chunky, chunky. It is very thick at this point. Come on, there we go. And maybe one last little green layer at the top. Oh boy, this is thick, thick, thick. True red speeds trace, guys. One last little thin, thin, thin layer right here. All right, to be our tip of our tree. And then the last bit of red will go over the top. And hopefully I can actually get it to cover this green. I'll just scrape the rest of this out carefully. Gently tap your mold. Try to level that out at the top. All right, I think we're ready to try the feather swirl now. I'm gonna carefully remove this black tape that was holding our dowels steady, that hanger swirl, that is, not dowels, so that it didn't move. I wanted it to stay as much in the middle as possible to not mess up this tree. We shall see. Let me throw these away. All right, we're gonna pull straight up and cross our fingers. The end product looks like a tree. All right, here we go. Pulling straight up. Carefully. All right, and then you can turn it sideways carefully and just kind of gently let the soap drip off. Perfect. I'll set that aside. All right. We might be able to use a little green on top here for decoration. I'm just going to essentially drip. I don't want to pour, I just want to drip a little bit at the top. As you see, the green is still nicely behaved, still fluid. So let's just do a little bit of a fancy top if we can. We'll pretend it's icing. There we go. All right, I like that. We'll clean it off again. And then we're gonna oven process this. So to oven process it, you basically are going to turn your oven on to the lowest temperature. Mine happens to be 170 degrees Fahrenheit. You will pop your soap in and then make sure to turn your oven off. I like to leave the oven light on to retain the warmth, and you can leave your soap in there for 3 to 6 hours roughly is what I like to do. Then what happens is it will harden up a lot faster. It goes through saponification faster. It makes the colors more vibrant, and your soap basically will be ready to cut quicker as well. So I love oven processing. It makes it go through a full gel. Otherwise you could get partial gel sometimes, which creates circles like in the center of your soap. It creates a circle, and I don't want a circle in the center of my soap from uneven heating. So we're going to heat it evenly all the way through to the middle of the soap by oven processing. All right, I think I have managed to clean up enough. This was messier than I thought it would be. We're gonna stick this in the oven, and I'll see you guys in a few hours, and hopefully this looks good. It's been about 6 hours and we're ready to cut. Show you the top of it. It's looking nice and beautiful. That red is indeed a true red. So let's see what it looks like on the inside. This is what I'm really curious about. I'm not sure if it's gonna be Christmas tree or not. So I guess we'll find out. All right. All right, this is interesting. We definitely have the white snow that is observable. Let's see here. Okay, all right. I don't know if I would say it looks like a tree, but we got something. We got something. Let's see if some of the middle ones look more tree-like. Maybe it's an artistic representation of a tree. That's what I'm going with. Oops, stuck together a little. Ooh, okay, so the middle ones look better. That's what I was wondering. I like these two. These two look good. I also have the other half of the loaf to cut. All right, so it's tree-like. All right, let me get the other half positioned and we'll cut that as well. Here's the last bit of soap. right, let's see how these look. I think if I were doing this again, I would not have the green so close to the edges, to these outer edges. I think I would leave it more towards the middle. I think that would make it look more tree-like perhaps next time. I think I accidentally put it too far out. But you know, it's not terrible. It's just not as Christmassy in terms of tree that I would have wanted, but it smells wonderful. And I do like the snow effect. I think that worked pretty well. Here are a few of my favorites. And these ones did look the most like a Christmas tree, which is what I was going for. And as you can see, we do have a True Red. So True Red is a fabulous red, and that chromium green oxide is a beautiful Christmas tree color. And I do like the snow from the white soap that we chopped up. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how these turned out actually. Again, as I mentioned, next time I think I would make the green, you know, in terms of more towards the middle instead of so spread out. But that's it. I think that's all I would change, and it would probably look more like a tree. But you know, for first time with this reverse feather swirl and just kind of experimenting, it didn't turn out too bad. So I really like these. What do you guys think? Feel free to drop a comment below. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. And as always, I truly enjoy doing these videos and helping you guys out. This recipe is a fabulous, fabulous recipe. My favorite thing about this recipe is that it goes from liquid soap to cut soap in about 6 hours. And I even was able to bevel the edges. That's how hard this soap is already. So you don't want to wait too long. You'll break your wire cutter with this particular recipe, but it is just wonderful. And I cannot wait to see how this performs and lathers. I'll probably wait a few days just to test that out. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, drop me a comment, press the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next soapy video tutorial. Take care, everyone. Almost forgot, here's the recipe as promised. You can go ahead and screenshot it if you would like to try it out. I hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas and happy holidays, and I will see you shortly in our next video.